Hello and welcome to my channel, Sporting Success with Sarah. So if you haven't subscribed already, please do subscribe so you can keep up with the latest videos. Today we are going to be talking about motivation and self-discipline. So motivation is basically your why you wake up in the morning, why you do a certain thing, and why do you exercise, why do you eat healthily, why do you train for your sport, why do you go to work. So it is your why, and that why motivates you to actually take action and do the certain task. Now, whenever you're not motivated, you think about that why and you think about, what am I going to gain from doing this? And that is extremely important. What are you going to gain? So there are two kinds of motivation, as you might have already heard. One is your extrinsic motivation, which is where you basically take action for an external reward, and that reward could be your your monetary gains that you could get at work. So you go to work to earn money. It could be the kind of appreciation you have from your colleagues, from your teammates, in your sport, from your parents, your coach. It could also be things like medals. So you want to win, you want to be the best, and you want to you want that reward, and that validation that you get from people. Now, sometimes that extrinsic motivation can also add a lot of pressure, which means that if you don't get that thing that external to you, it becomes very difficult to remain motivated consistently using extrinsic motivation. So that is where you use your intrinsic motivation. And intrinsic motivation means you're doing a certain thing simply because you enjoy it. And I think intrinsic motivation works really well when extrinsic motivation fails. And your why should also come from an internal need or desire to improve yourself. And that is also intrinsic motivation. Sometimes you just do something because you enjoy it. And that can also be quite good for you, because when you can't get a reward, when you no longer want the reward or need it enough to put in that effort, it's then that intrinsic thing of, this is a challenge for me and I want to improve at this particular thing. And that is your intrinsic motivation. Now, simply having motivation or having the feeling or knowing the why is not enough, especially in sport. And this is where your self-discipline comes into play. Your self-discipline is what you do with that why. What kind of actions do you take on a daily basis to live the why, to experience your why? So if your why is, this makes me feel really good, I enjoy it. So you go and commit to going out, playing a sport or training or going to the gym, and that's your why, and you're living it continuously and experiencing it. So what happens when you can't be disciplined, or you're struggling with your self-discipline and what you can do about it? One of the things that I always tell my athletes and my clients is to set ranged goals. What I mean by ranged goals is, on a day when you're doing really well, you can give your 100% in training and you can tackle the challenges. But on days when you're not feeling very well or not feeling very good, you're tired, you have too many things going on in your mind, you have too many commitments, what can you do on those days? So on those days, you focus on one particular aspect of your sport, or your training. So for example, that could be your warm-up drills, or that could be just the match play that you really like. So on the bad days, you still want the discipline to go in, and you still want to use that intrinsic motivation to help you become disciplined, to at least give your 50 or 60% in training on that day. And what you basically do is pick out the aspects of your training that you really enjoy, that you really like, and you focus only on that one aspect and doing it really well. And that is your discipline. It's what you're doing for your why. So if you want to be the best, you are actually putting in that work, even on a day when you're not feeling like putting in the work. Also, you're not beating yourself up. So you can't always give your 100%. You are going to have off days or bad days. And it's how you deal with that and the discipline you have to deal with that defines your success and your progress. So the other thing I want to talk about is the good days that you have. So how do you use your discipline and your motivation on the good days? So on your good days where you're feeling 100%, you want to focus more on the things that you find difficult in training. So if you find like, certain aspects of training, certain techniques quite tricky, then on your good day, you want to focus your 100% on that and probably give like 70-80% on other parts of training. And that way you're improving and you're using your internal resources to the maximum. So make sure that you list out all the intrinsic and extrinsic motivations and your whys for why you play your sport. And also think about how you can use your intrinsic motivation when your extrinsic motivation fails. That is, if winning the competition is putting too much pressure on you, then why do you actually compete? What do you gain out of it intrinsically? What does it make you feel like? And how does that kind of add to your growth? And how does that help you to live your values? At the same time, what you want to do is set up some ranged goals for your training days. So on days where you have really good days, what other kind of things you want to focus on? And on days when you don't have your good days, and these will specifically be certain days when you have college, university, and other things going on, what are those aspects of training that you want to focus on? And if you do that, you will have a really good and solid plan to motivate yourself, and at the same time to be disciplined and use your resources in a way that is optimal for your performance. I hope this video has helped you. If you have any questions or concerns, please do write them down in the comments below, or you can email me, text me, get in touch with me if you need my support. So have a great day ahead. Take care. Bye-bye.